of wealth and income at the top, at the very top, and there were a handful of black people at close to the very top, and a lot more than there were. And this is maybe the more important fact. Probably four.
I know we can keep going through that, but he said there's black people that are close to the very top of who? Not Asians or white people. Like, okay, so they're just lying. Yeah, like, this is all lies.
People, right? Even other black groups, we're not even on top of that. You know
Nigerians, Nigerians have like 88,000, but I don't really like bringing them up because they still don't have enough. Like, let's talk about the people who got the real money, and that's the Asian. That's the Japanese Asians, the Chinese Asians, and the Indian Asians. They got the majority of the money. Filipinos got a little bit of money too. When you start talking about poor Asians, you're talking about like the Vietnamese and Koreans.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but they playing games.
Even if you break it down, and like if he was just talking about like individuals, like he's talking about like the rich black celebrities or whatever amongst black people, there's nobody up there fucking with the Forbes list of like white people that are making billions upon billions of billions of dollars in this fucking country. So like there's no comparison. There is no handful of black motherfuckers that are in that group.
More rich black people basically than there were in 1968. But the thing is, this is the thing for me, right? I've been trying to figure out because even the most cursory and casual observation as you walk around the streets shows that
is he about to say because you see clean Negroes on the street, black people have money?
Yeah, let him ride. I don't know what he gonna say. I didn't do my homework.
He basically saying this. He basically go.
Go ahead.
Black Americans have increased significantly over the last.
So we know that's bullshit because when you pull up remember that thing from the news clip where it shows that like black home ownership is lower than it was in the 60s. We have higher incarceration rates and we have higher unemployment rates. We are not doing better than we were doing. He is lying.
We are
he's
civil rights numbers. Absolutely.
My goodness. This is terrible.
Now with the raise in hate crimes, we're at pre-civil rights levels in everything.
Yeah, this is terrible. What the?
50 years, right? So what's the point in, apart from a certain kind of emotional satisfaction, what's the point in insisting that that's not true, right? In insisting that that Black American status in the society is what it was under Jim Crow, or what it was under slavery. Right.
It is worse than it was in after emancipation. Like we are not doing well. This is all lies. And this is why I will have white people be like, 75% of black people are in the middle class because of stupid Negroes like this. Y'all got y'all, what should I be calling him? He's shucking and jiving and what did it call him? Stepping fetching. That's what I'm looking for. He's stepping fetching.
Hey, yo, I know why Mud. Hey, Mud, I know why you made 8 videos of this. Yo, I knew he was a problem, but no, Mud, I knew you was watching this nigga like, yo, he gotta go, and I'm like, yo,
we need a versus battle. We need him and Darity in the ring.
Oh no, that ain't a versus battle. I mean, that ain't gonna kill this motherfucker. Like,
remember how he ran off from where he was supposed to, where they wanted to do debate instead, and then he didn't want to do it. Like, nah, he pussy. He gonna run off. He ain't got time for that. No, they didn't run him off. They told him that they wanted to do a debate, and he didn't want to do a debate. He wanted to do a lecture. He wanted to come in, drop some bullshit, and go. And they were like, no, you got to defend your bullshit. He's like, I don't want to do that.
Man,
that's not what I was prepared for.
Watch Darity drop elbow on him. The people's elbow on his ass.
No, but then the narrative
that would destroy this.
Hold on 1 second, John. Hold on, John. The narrative that they pushed was that they disinvited him, but that's not what happened. He decided he didn't want to do it. Am I wrong, Mud?
No, that's exactly what happened.
Damn.
I watch Bitter Dose. God damn it, y'all should
Bitter Dose TV is the shit, boy. I tell y'all, I better get Bitter Dose TV. Bitter Dose TV, all one word.
I want to talk about, because I think this is an important thing for the left to understand. I want to ask you about the racial wealth gap, which is a very cited statistic. It's constantly cited. I mean, the white families make something like 13 times more than black families on average. I mean, I saw Matt Bruning at the People's Policy Project put out a post which he talked about it. If you remove the top 10% of earners from the white cohort and you remove the top 10% of earners from the black cohort, the bottom 90% of both more or less make the same. There's still a little bit, but it's more or less the same. That the racial wealth gap is really driven by the top 10% of earners. And it strikes me as like maybe one of the key statistics that reinforces what you're talking about of how identities paper over class differences.
Oh yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. And I mean, it's also worth noting Robert Manduka found that the key to explaining the racial wealth gap is the racial income gap. Right. So I mean that has other implications, right? And in fact, the reason that the income gap hasn't changed much over the last half century is that I mean, although blacks' income has increased across the board right over that period, it's the intensifying pattern of income inequality overall, right? That has kept the overall the overall racial income gap pretty much stagnant, right? So that the concentration of wealth and income at the top, right, at the very top, and there are a handful of black people close to the very top, and a lot more than there were. And this is maybe the more important fact: probably 4 times more or more, rich black people basically than there were in 1968. But the thing is, I mean, this is the thing for me, right? I've been trying to figure out. Because even the most cursory and casual observation as you walk around the streets shows that Black America or class and income differentiation among Black Americans have increased significantly over the last 50 years, right? So what's the point in apart from a certain kind of emotional satisfaction, what's the point in insisting that that's not true, right? In insisting that that Black American status in the society is what it was under Jim Crow, or what it was under slavery, right?
All right, so that was Adolf Reed and Nando Pando, whatever the dude's name was, and Anna Kasparian with her wild self, and we'll get on.
She didn't even say shit, right? She was just sitting there.
Standing that little section as always.
She's like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, I know it was right. Yeah.
I want to talk about
I hate the niggers too.
But wait, everybody else on this side can suck. All right.
She's like, Adolf.
Get him, Adolf. You tell those Negroes. So
I try to tell them that they should just learn how to speak Spanish.
So overall, Adolf Reed is honest. Adolf Reed is a smart man. I'm not gonna say he's not smart, but he is out of his depth here. And as Mud said, he's lying to stay in good graces with these folks. Well, I don't know the motivations of him lying, but he's lying because this could be easily dispelled if he talked to an expert. He could probably walk across the street from his office, and talk to somebody who knows economics. You know what I mean? It's really that simple. So he's here spewing bullshit. He really is. So I'm gonna go across the panel and get some final thoughts from everybody. And we'll start off with Mud, because this is your dude. You've been cooking him for months. Go ahead, Mud.
You've been cooking Uncle Reed for like 2 years. Good.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know you guys were saying earlier, avoid this motherfucker for economics, but avoid him for politics, avoid him for everything.
Can't even be the water boy, bro.
I swear to fucking God, I have never heard so much bullshit from a motherfucking academic in my life. And the shit don't even be making sense. That's
no,
the
not
problem.
at all.
It make no sense, huh? It make no fucking sense, bro.
Not at all. All right, John, what you got?
Mud. I ain't want to finish it. I'm agreeing with you, man. This shit make. I see why you be cooking Uncle Reed for so long. He out of control, bro. For real, now I get it now. Like I didn't get it because I ain't watched an Uncle Reed video in years. Like so, this 5-minute clip was like, yo, this is why Mud was attacking this. I'm like, yo, bro, Benedict's TV got 8 videos on Adolf Reed Jr. And I'm like, he bring it up. I'm like, damn, he really a problem. So I feel like you was doing the work for me and shit. Like I was being lazy. Now watching this shit, I'm like, oh my lord. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm happy you got him.
You weren't being lazy. You were right. Stop listening.
Yeah, Mud.
Yeah, he was on point. That dude. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mud, you got something else to say about this, man?
Come on, Mud. It's Adolf Reed. We know you got something else to
say. You gotta give it. You got to give it to him for those folks that ain't seen that Adolf Reed video yet. Go ahead, give him that smoke. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, like, look, it's like he is Thomas Sowell for left wing motherfuckers. He is a bullshit artist that is just there to be the token nigga. I mean, token Negro to like tap dance for them and push whatever goofy arguments, you know, that
the left curates their Negro just like the right does. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Like that's all he's there to do. Like, and like the thing is that leftists act like they're above doing this type of shit, but you know, they got a bunch of these motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you can see a lot of them featured on Bitter Dose TV. So
Real talk.
Real talk. I might got my old boss on there on the video. I'm like, oh shit. Like, yeah. So all right. So and I'm sure we will get to him eventually too. So I think we're in a good space. We're good. I'm John Mud. You guys done? We get to Sam.
Yeah, I'm
give
done.
it to Sam. I said everything I got to say about Uncle Reed, man. I'm done. Give it to Sam.
I'm gonna be pretty much short on the Crypt Keeper too because I wasn't impressed. Like I don't really watch. No, I don't watch him like that. And the way white people be like, but Adolf Reed says that if we just do wealth redistribution, we can fix everybody. And black people look nice when you see them walking around in the street. Well, Adolf Reed, could it be that you happen to live in a nice community? So every black person you see is gonna look nice. Like, cause where I live, every black person I see don't look like they dress nice and they doing well. I see a lot of black people in poverty. I live in the hood. So
yeah, but even when we're in poverty, we do our best to look good. You know what I mean? Well, I don't try as hard, but even when we
I see some people who ain't got enough money to try to look good. Okay,
for sure. I'm just saying in
general. They
general.
clean. That's enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So
wash that ass.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So for him to be like, oh well, if you look around, you know, like black people are doing better. Like this is everything he said. Y'all can look up. So Google Schmoogle, right? What we get wrong about closing the racial wealth gap by Sandy Darity or William Darity or Dr. William Darity. Any iteration, it will pop up for you.
Yep, it'll pop up. Right.
So until you read that and memorize it, shut up and don't talk to me, because everything that y'all be talking about be in those things for when y'all be coming up with ideas. So again, everybody, when they say wealth redistribution, okay, but if y'all would say wealth redistribution, we gonna make sure that we reshuffle the money, I'm here for it. But I don't hear that. I hear like programs, and he just talked about how we got to work on fixing the income gap. I don't need you to fix the income gap, because if I lose my job, I'm broke again. I need you to fix the fucking wealth gap. That's why fucking white people who are unemployed have more money than working black people. That is wealth. That is not income. There's a difference.
Yep. Yeah, and that's it.
That's wealth is this dude's stupid.
In this country, well, all over the source of,
I don't even like ad hominem attacks outside of calling him a crypt keeper, but I'm so irritated. I'm so mad they tried to school out like Weekend at Bernie's too and propped him up to sit here and say some bullshit.
You look half dead.
Y'all stop putting a battery in these motherfuckers back. Let me tell you.
Oh my Lord.
And
I'm
that's
done.
real. That's real. People need to understand that what Sam is saying is real. You need to stop listening. The left in general, I'm basically telling you white folks, stop giving these folks a job because they make you feel good.
Yeah.
Right? Stop listening to them because they can port to what you think the world is, the way you want to think the world is, because it hurts our arguments. Right? If what he's saying doesn't fit the data, you can Google this shit. Right, and a lot of it is in my articles. Again, there'll be links in the article when we do an article on this.
And
show.
Sandy has written so many fucking reports.
Look up Sandy Dare. Read anything.
He's written so many reports. Like, if you want to sit down and like read some shit. I'm sorry, forgive me, MG, because I'm about to jump in on you. But this is so, like, again, it just gets to my frustration of the fact, like, y'all talk about Republicans and how they're sheep and how they live in a bubble and they have alternative facts. Do y'all understand that when y'all start having reparations conversations with us, y'all are what y'all talk about them being? Because y'all have alternative facts. Everything Adolf Reed said was a lie. And it was just, if you go and actually do the research, like how you're talking about the wealth gap, then you switch to the income gap, then you start talking about Black people look good. When I go down the street, you see Black people look nice. Most white people who live around Black, you know how much money it costs to live around white people? White people, I want y'all to understand, it is expensive as fuck to try to live around y'all. It is so expensive. So when you see a Black person who lives around you, they are in like the top of Black people unless you live in the hood. But if you live in a nice neighborhood that you find safe, that you're comfortable in, and you see a Black person, trust and believe they are doing everything they possibly can to afford to be there to live near you.
Absolutely.
So we need to stop playing these games like, oh, well, the Black people I see, come to the fucking hood. I live in Watts. Come drive around my hood. Come drive around wherever the fuck you are. Go. You know where the fuck the hood is. It's the place that you refuse to fucking go. Get your ass in the car in the daytime. Don't go at night. I ain't trying to get nobody fucked up. Get your ass in the car in the daytime and drive around and really look. Like, go
hurt nobody.
If there's a downtown, if there's a downtown where you're at, drive all up and around downtown. Start seeing how many homeless people you see. Drive to the hood. Start driving around. See all the poverty. See all the degradation. Okay, but y'all don't see this shit in your nice ass areas. And I know this because my ass used to drive Amazon. I'd be all up through your shit. Y'all be jogging with your husbands, with your babies, and I'd be so angry at y'all. Y'all know how much I be angry because I'm just like. And they be young, like in their 20s with their husbands and their babies. And I'm like, do you know how hard we have to work and we don't get to have none of this shit? We don't get to have nothing. And y'all just get it given to you. And then you tell us, well, you know, Black people, that means Black people would like have more money than like 60% of whites. But he's not telling you that 60% of those white people have bread. Like the first 60% of white people, that's trillions of dollars being split up. Like they're playing games with the numbers. And I understand that it's hard because if you don't sit and look over these numbers over and over and over again, and if you're not a numbers person, which is hilarious because I am not like I can do statistics. Statistics works for me. It just clicks in my head. I understand it. But you get into other stuff, I'm like, oh. So, but you have to stop listening to people who don't know the numbers. If people are talking to you about stuff and they're not showing you numbers, you might need to reevaluate it. Or if they're not telling you where you can go look at those numbers. That's another thing. Adolf Reed didn't bring up any numbers except where he said the income gap was 10 to 12 times, which income gap and wealth gap have nothing to do with each other. That's the only numbers that I heard in this whole conversation. So he was just playing, again, this is a con. And white people, I really need y'all to understand this because I see that you guys are starting to wake up to some of the other shit. So y'all got to wake up to this leftist bullshit too. Even these fucking progressives that you think, because if you guys think that Black people are going to let you run off with the bag and we're going to sit here and just take crumbs, we're not going to do it. Again, like I said, we will trap you in this fucking burning house and we will all burn down in this motherfucker together. And we good with that because our lives have always sucked. We actually enjoy watching you guys being miserable. I hate to say it, but it's called Schadenfreude. It's a thing. like literally, like, you know, maybe not the whole time, but every now and again for a good like 8 seconds, I feel good to see you struggling because I'm like, now you understand. Just I see 8 seconds. I don't dwell on it all day, but just for a few minutes, I smile a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, West Black Life is a motherfucker, boy.
I'm telling you, man.
That shit a
Like
motherfucker.
shit. Like y'all don't even understand like how hard it is. And like the thing about it, a lot of you guys are just starting to understand. Like you're seeing these food lines and all this other shit. Like this is new to a lot of people, but this has been ADOS life for people for a long time, and y'all didn't care. We've been crying for help. We've been crying for you to rescue us, and y'all don't give a fuck. And now that you're going through some shit, you're crying and begging for help, and the government's telling you to go fuck yourself too. Again, welcome to being a Negro in America. Enjoy all that blackness. They just spreading all this blackness around like it's a paintbrush. It's just slapping black on everybody. Like, oh, you thought you was better? Nope, you a Negro now. Here's some face paint.
We all love it.
Let's get back to your roots. Let's get back to which one? Yeah, let's get back to your roots. Get your Judy Garland on.
For real.